how to maximize their projects, how to stay on budget, but at the same time complying with regulations. And then we own the entire org chart. So it's very hard to get us out of it. We own the project managers, the entire team, and the executives. So they do run decisions constantly on us. And finally, we are their system of record for everything related to project financials. We do sync with accounting systems, but we own all the related project financial information, such as your budget versus actuals, your labor costs, your timesheets information, your procurement information, and your subcontractor coordinations. So what we see across our customer after we deploy is one, instead of spending 1 week every month, they just spend 1 hour from the executive team reviewing the result from the AI. And two, instead of being uncertain about their compliance, when you're uncompliant, you do run into major trouble. Raytheon last year, for example, paid $950 million, close to $1 billion for defective pricing because they omitted something in their accounting practices. That's Raytheon, the number, the big five. And we generally see about 3% project cost saved. I'm also very happy to report that one of our customers told us we helped them save 9% on project costs on one project recently. And they're able to reinvest all of that into their team because we're able to use AI to help them validate and invalidate, in that case, subcontractor invoices. And most importantly, we hear from customers that are confident to go out and win more contracts and build more. We heard it from one of our advisors who was a former, actually Seattle-based Series A startup in water contamination, that when his company scaled up to 12 projects, he would wake up in the middle of the night thinking, shit, I forgot about one. Like literally nightmare playing his background. So we reached about 100K ARRs in the 9 months last year. And because we scale along with our customers, we are fast approaching 150K, where we think our existing customer will likely get to a 200K ARR by the end of this year. And then we have about 1.5 million pipeline. We are projected to reach about 1 million ARR in the next 12 months. We are working with major financiers of clean energy projects in Alberta. They oversee about $5 billion in total project costs, about 600 companies in that segment. And we've been in active talk with the QA. We have sponsorship from the district controller and their business development director. So we work with mid-market ambitious project owners and developers. We've been in multiple conversations with a major climate tech investors. And one of the things they ask us is, so this industry is very old, very traditional. How do you break into it? Well, what we say is that actually infrastructure has been changing. So the kind of customer we're now talking to, a lot of our lead ones are in nuclear fusions. We have one that's in space. They have a $33 million contract from the DoD to launch satellites. We're working with the latest leaders in carbon captures, in clean energies and renewable energies. So, and those ones are often even approved by the current administration because they are focused on industrial heat. And we do have a set of plans in terms of which area target. We target not just US, but also Canada, which is a resource-based economy, and this government is heavily investing in nation-building projects. In addition to one of the other things we have been very lucky to see in the last 3 months is that because it's tax season, love it, because we own the project financial data, we can actually provide additional offering on top of the existing project compliance offering. So we have a partner in R&D tax credits, which we have a referral and agreement with. We have a line of credit, a partnership with Chase, which is often required when you take these projects on. We also have customers that have requested us to put on a procurement feature, forecasting features to help them with all the things related to project costs. So most of our customers last year, we started out usually average about 10K ARR per customer. Those are usually what we call emerging. They typically build about 4 to 5 million in total project sizes, that's total contract sizes. So we think we can actually scale that up. Now we have seen some of them going up to 30K ARR. We think we can get that up to 50K. And then for a lot of mid-market customers, we can eventually reach 200K, which means, this is the most important thing, that we just need 500 to 1,000 customers for us to reach 100 million, and we got 10 last year was 2 people. So I think we're pretty comfortable about projecting that numbers up. And we're seeing this competition, the way I think about it is that it's a classic innovator's dilemma problem. So up top, there's one very famous one called Dell Tech in this category. It has a 1 billion in annual revenue a year, so that's kind of a decacorn category. They've been around since the 90s, and they're a specialized ERP built for major government contractors. They'll think like Raytheon, Lockheed, not Boeing, because everything about them is currently falling apart. And for most of the mid to small size companies, what you end up with is actually a fragment of tools. You usually work with a government contract or government loan specialty accounting firms. And then within the team, you have project manager that uses project budget sheets, and you have a bunch of point solutions that manage every aspect of your projects. So that includes, for example, DCAA compliant timesheet tool. It turns out once you slap a compliance on it, a timesheet tool, you usually pay $5 a month. Now you have to pay $15 a month. And then you have tools for reconfiguring your accounting system. You have tools that help make sure that you're compliant on your procurements. So with Forge, we replaces all of that. Was where you no longer need to hire all 3 of these, you just have to hire us, and we integrate with your accounting systems. And the reason why we have been able to get interest from Keyway, a major one that actually uses they actually build their own internal ERPs, is because they say, actually, our current back office's workload is really huge. And when we take on new projects, we have to actually scale our team. So can you just take apart your system and give us a cost agent to just help us speed up our invoice approval process? And we're like, sounds great. Our team is built up with people who are, I used to work at product manager, started my career as product manager on building AIs at Microsoft. And I really hated it because all I do is like PowerPoint and Excel, which fits pretty great for this. And then I did a little bit of time at Goldman Sachs, and then I went to work in energy because I wanted to build something lasting with lasting impact, where I really experienced this problem. And that's also when I created communities. For example, I created the Pacific Northwest Climate Week. I also created, got to know a lot of people who are working on space tech, defense tech, working on the latest energy tech, for example. And my co-founder, Jordan, he previously was a senior engineer at Meta, and he had worked on codifying energy policy for data centers work, and on their large data with ad measurements. We're advised by a brilliant team of both industry insiders as well as AI leaders. For example, one of our leaders advised was at McKinsey, and he had advised the $40 billion LNG projects over there. We have another one, One Energy. They are one of the top energy project developers in the country. They rent out 1 building over on Pike Place. So they oversee about $100 million in total energy project sizes. We have raised about 1 million pre-seed. We have about 500K already soft circled from 3 funds. 2 of them actually are Seattle-based funds. In addition to the 3, we also been talking with some of the. We're also doing second or third conversation with 2 lead funds, including PSL locally, and we also have we also have another one that we're going to get our second call with Mayfield. So, any questions?
It's impressive. You and one other person got those customers?
Yeah. We have a bookkeeper that assists us on some of the monthly bookkeeping.
You and the bookkeeper got the customers?
Sorry?
You and the bookkeeper got the customers?
Well, I got the customers, and our bookkeeper help us with some of our miscellaneous tasks.
When you launched, what channels did you launch to attract the customers, or were you just cold calling or cold emailing?
Great question. So one of the things we kind of learned is that that when the compliance cycle is surging, meaning that when you just got a new project or a new phase of the projects going on, that's when you are rapidly needing a new person to come in to help you deal with the compliance here. And then, so for example, in a lot of cases, we started targeting from both federal ones. That was our initial ones. So if people would just search like SBIR accounting, DCAA accounting, looking for an accounting firm that specializes in those. And then what we did initially was just like, we had a website. We do know a lot of people in the industry. So for us, one of the things we did learn is that we do know a lot of people who have these government contracts and et cetera, but it was actually hard to switch them over to us because they're already working with some accounting firm somewhere. So it's hard to like rip them out of it. But if they're in that cycle where they just got a new one, a larger one, and they're looking for someone to come in to fill that, then that's a very easy decision for them to make because they're like, well, we're cheaper, we are more transparent with less errors, and it saves you more time across your team. The timesheet thing surprisingly works so well in that pitch. So then they usually can make a decision to sign within a month. The one thing we did also see is that credibility comes in because we sometimes when customers have a hard time signing, what we do is that we get one of our advisors on the call. So we have one, it's a company called Quega. They have like total, I think in their history of company, they have like 10, 20 million total project sizes. So he got so burned out. So sometimes I'll just be like, do you want to talk to him?
Nice.
Yeah, and then those people love that because they're like, wow, you experienced it all, you know what's going on. So then we're like, do you want to talk to him? And then he can usually help us close the sales for those stragglers. Yeah.
Are you part of the Pacific Northwest Defense Coalition?
Well, I'm not, but that would be great to learn more about.
You should. I'm happy to talk to you about it.
Yeah, for sure. We do, we have 3 defense customers, so we'd love to.
So it's what it sounds like. It's an association of companies that do work in the defense space, and there's a structure, and they help local companies get more defense work.
For sure. Yeah, I think so. We typically work with 3 types of customers, is energy, transportation, and defense. Within defense, we have some that actually all of our defense customers are also energy ones. The one thing we do say that one of our disqualifier is that we don't work with weapon systems, and not because of any moral reasons, because usually those are on-prem. So we can't actually deploy our solutions to them. That kind of goes along with the previous pitch there as well. But what happens is that energy, transportation, defense. So in transportation, in addition to Keyway, we have someone in a customer in our pipeline that is the Economic Development Corporation of a city in Texas, and they're building like a road, and they have a combination of federal funding and as well as a little bit of local government funding to support planning that road. So we do see those. I think for us, long term for us, we want to spend more time in energy and transportation to avoid policy uncertainty. Other questions? Great. Thank you so much.
All right, I think one of our people that was gonna go next is Amy.
All right, Adam. So, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about your business? Do you want to talk about the event a little bit?
Let's talk about both. Why not?
Yeah, let's start with the event. What do you think?
The event's great. So this has been a beyond interesting opportunity to hear kind of all the ideas that are in people's heads and the dreams that they're pursuing.
Yeah.
And I've been really impressed with the level of thought that people put into their businesses, right? And what they're trying to get to. And so much of this is around kind of improving, the world. And it is great.
Really is.
Yeah, they've all had like a real mission-driven kind of focus, and it's just really been an inspiring event.
Yeah. What are some of the ideas that stand out into your head that were mission driven?
That were mission driven. So like one guy had a good example about how to create a battery that you can install into your regular vehicle, like a pickup truck or something like that. It's an aftermarket type of thing. So you can, with the touch of a button, switch it from electric vehicle to a regular vehicle, so which kind of solves the problem of what so many people have issues with the electric vehicles is the range, right? So this thing will give you, I think he said, about 30 miles to maybe 50 miles in range, but you can switch it right back over to your regular vehicle, and when you need extra power and things like that. And the whole concept was to improve the planet and try to, kind of build more capability so that people will have a solution to that problem.
Yeah.
And I was like, brilliant.
Because we have to take care of that blue dot, right?
Yeah, that's right. The blue dot, the big, blue dot we all live on.
Yeah.
It's,
Isn't that what the business name was?
and his name was Blue Dot, right? Yeah.
Yep.
The name
Take
of his
care of the blue
company.
dot out there
Yeah,
in
that
the
was cool.
sky.
So that was an inspiring one. There's been a lot of inspiring ones just like that. Now I had a long conversation this morning with a gal that is former head of pediatrics and a lot of different.
Yeah, Wando. Is
Wando.
she going to pitch here soon?
She's going to pitch next, yeah.
Yes,
And
okay.
she was, and her vision is really around new mothers and new parents
Yes,
that
that's
need
why
support.
she resonated with me. That's why I was like, you got to talk to Adam.
All of us have had that experience, and what was really interesting is she's got two different businesses she's really focused on, but this one in particular was to really provide this kind of support that all new parents need
All new
about
parents.
just silly stuff like hey, I'm not sure how to do the breastfeeding, or I'm having a problem with, or I'm looking at the child's poop and it's purple. Like, what's going on there, right?
Right.
And so to have a place that you can call and have that kind of advice, and so kind of a telehealth type of hybrid type of thing. But the next piece to that too is the next step of, like, if you need somebody to come into your home. Fully vetted, that you know's going to be able to help you and you can trust, right? To come in and actually, provide supportive services during the time that you're going through this time period. Brilliant. Like, it's so needed, and I know
needed.
I was a good example of. I haven't lived near a family member.
Me neither.
Most of ever since I was 17 years old,
17,
right?
wow.
And had two children, and it's something that I think a lot of us, if we're not living in the same kind of community of where our families were, and that support network's gone, now you have an ability to kind of have somebody come in and helps, and that you can trust, and that's got the right qualifications to support. So that was a brilliant idea too. I mean, again,
Yeah.
just finding the need and that little niche of what people kind of need and when they need it, and being able to provide that.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing from Wando here next.
Yeah.
But before they're still, wheeling deals there in the back. So before we get started with that,
Yeah.
do you want to tell us a little bit more about what brings you here and what exactly you do?
Yeah, so I'm the CEO of Alignment Advantage Group, and I started my business really to help. My mission for my organization is to help make the world a better place to work, because it's really a win-win solution in my world. Like, I can relate and can want to support all of those people that are trying to, enjoy the work process and to feel good about the stuff that they do and feel like they work in a good place, and that they feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves, and to come home at night and have the good stories to tell about, hey, what happened at work today, this was great, this is what the company did for us, as a family, and help better support them and their ability to support their families, right? And you need a good workplace in order to be able to create that. So a big focus on culture is one of the things we do. I'm, a former Fortune 500 VP of operations for the last 30, 40 years, and have built kind of a systematic approach to how to build culture in organizations to move from kind of like, normal good performance to top quartile performance, and it always comes down to people. It's that ability to kind of move past what you have to do to get the paycheck to discretionary effort and giving that because you believe in what it is you're doing, you know your role and how that's contributing to the overall objectives, and aligning the organization across all of the different departments so that everybody's working towards the same objectives and building towards that same culture together. Because it's, at the end of the day, it does take a village. It takes everybody in an organization to do their part and to give that level of effort to achieve those great results that everybody's looking for. And it's a communal approach to this thing. No one person is going to do it, right? It always comes down to the people and having that connection with what it is that the company's trying to achieve. So that's one part of the Alignment Advantage Group, is the culture and kind of how to build that.
That's so important too.
Yeah,
the culture piece.
And have this kind of operating system that all leaders can follow at whatever size of organization they are in any kind of industry. This all applies because it's really a system built based off of my trial and error for the last 30, 40 years, right, of what worked and what didn't. There's a lot of great leadership programs out there, but they give you theory, right? And then when you come back, you then try to apply it and try to figure out how to build those programs. What the leadership operating system that I have is it basically is something that once you build it and put a little effort on the front end of that, that's kind of like a flywheel effect, right? It's just now you've got your programs in place and how to execute that in your organization, and it's just at that point care and feeding to make sure that it continues to build and maintain and grow, and you start creating a culture of continuous improvement, a culture of recognition, a culture of true engagement.
Yeah.
So that's the culture side, and then we also do operational performance, because that's what I've been doing forever, is how to find the efficiencies and find the opportunities to create operational excellence. And then the third is really around the customer and how to build effortless experiences throughout the customer journey and every part of the customer journey, and create improved customer loyalty. So, if you think about it, if I'm kind of a little cheeky about it, but like if you have people that work for you or you have customers, we can help you.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
That's all good stuff. So, but you're a core team partner too.
Yeah.
So tell us how that fits into everything.
Yeah, so we have an ecosystem of vetted partners, right, that have all, I kind of liked the term that one of the guys used yesterday was, these are the goats of each of the different pieces you need. The greatest of all times, people that are really have former success in their careers in this particular area that they're representing to better support entrepreneurs and small businesses, and it can go up to Fortune 500 businesses, it doesn't matter, but these are the people that are really the best in the business that can help support you to be successful as a startup, as a founder, and as a small business. And so in all the different departments, I'll use you as an example,
Marketing.
right? We got marketing with
Yeah.
you, right? You've got me with operations and employee engagement culture and how to build customer service. We got another guy that does, Google searching and how to build how to get into the top search engine placements. You've got other people that are doing financing and they can that know how to create a way that you can fund your business without breaking your bank, right? And that's such an important piece of this.
Yeah.
And all of this is to it's just a whole ecosystem of people that can help support and help build their businesses.
Yeah, such good stuff.
Yeah.
What would you wrap up with? I mean, on the Core Team Partners page, to tell anyone who's watching, like, maybe they should come to this next time. What should they do? Like, You know?
Well, I think it doesn't have to be a wait until next time.
Yeah.
I think from my perspective, any one of us that are part of this ecosystem can help get you involved. Even if you weren't here at this event, I think, by the way, I would highly recommend coming to the next event. But also, reach out to any one of us, and we'll get you connected to this ecosystem so that you can have the support you need to be successful and learn how to do this. I think a lot of people have great ideas and are really excited about it, but they have not really a full picture of how to actually take this on and make it, turn it from an idea into a business. And I think that's what, a group like this can really help.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for letting me live stream you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who should I live stream next?
I don't know. Well, have you done any of these other guys?
Not Nick yet. He looks a little busy.
Nick's good.
Hey, Nick, you ready to come talk to the live stream?
Yeah, next. Yeah.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready.
You're
come
up.
on out. Come on over. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
We're going to keep this running. I'm going to bring over Nick here, who's also another core team partner and a founder and all the things. Get this going over here. See if we can get both of us in here because we're having a conversation. Yeah, bring it in. Oh, we got to go get his mic off him. Can you go chase him down?
Sure.
Before he says something he shouldn't say. We've got 15 people watching. He's back.
I went around the corner. I'm like going.
Nick, he's back. Yeah, so this is what happens when you're live streaming and you're keeping things authentic. The guy, I accidentally forgot to take his mic off, so I sent the next guy running for his mic, and he's back. He came back and brought his mic.
Mic me up.
Yeah, clip it on here. There you go. All right.
Fantastic.
So, let me make sure we get us both here. There we go. So, okay, first of all, let's start off with the event a little bit
Yeah.
and some of the pitches.
Yeah.
What have been some of your favorite pitches so far?
Ooh, I think the reusable, I think it's Blue Dot.
That's exactly what Adam and I were talking about too.
know, I just
he really got that down, didn't he?
It stuck out with me because one, I'm kind of big on eco-friendly, and I've always been a part of liking that kind of renewable resource initiatives, and I think he's unlocked a way to kind of make your own hybrid, which I think was pretty interesting. I hadn't seen a bolt-on experience for something like that. That can add value to both electric and cater to gas, because there's obviously a discrepancy. Some people who are petroleum-based users
Right.
are on the edge. They're on the fringe of actually using electric, whether they've experienced it or not. There can be negative connotations, and I think he does a good job of bridging the gap and bringing those together. So
Yeah, definitely. So there was him, and that was Blue Dot, right?
Yep.
And then what are some other ones? Tell us about some of the other pitches.
Yeah,
that
some
stick
other
out
ones
to
that
you.
really stuck out to me. I think that, let's see here, I would say there were a lot of leadership kind of methodology frameworks that I think are really good, foundational. Those, you're not really selling a product, you're more or less selling best practices or experience that can, it's hard to put dollars behind it because it's not a product, but in the long run, running a business that is run efficiently, thinking about how to structure the organization, how to find efficiencies in there, how to find mistakes and fix them, I think is actually more valuable than single products. Because it can be costly to make some mistakes along the way in the business world. But I think, having a strong foundation can save time, money, expertise,
Definitely.
process. Like, there's a lot that can be said with some of that. So there were a lot of presentations that were, how to structure a business or how to kind of scale or move to the next level. And I think those are very helpful. For founders, because that's one of the things that we're all struggle with, but some of us are alone when making those decisions. And it's nice to know that you're making the right path, you know, taking down the right path and the right decision. So those really also kind of helped me because I'm at that stage right now where I'm building my current brand.
Tell us about it.
And so for Garage Snaps, is something that we're trying to launch in the next couple of months. And that's the brand I'm trying to personally build. And
Which is so cool.
Yeah.
It's literally like a big giant magnet you can stick on a garage door.
Right.
And it's going to fold with the garage door.
Correct, yeah. It just snaps together, kind of like a puzzle. And so our targets are like, you know, if you're a homeowner, if you have a garage, you know, you can
decorate for
you
the
can
holidays.
decorate for the holiday. It's the largest canvas in your entire front yard, your facade, right? So we see a lot of people putting Christmas lights up or, you know, those blow-up decorations. Well, this kind of complements that. So we take the garage and use that as a blank canvas. And then you could put a snowman or a Christmas tree or, you know,
Nice.
anything during any holiday you'd like. That's the kind of the consumer side of it. So what really made me take this business off and push it forward is I have a Halloween cutie kitty. We call her Cutie Kitty because she's super cute, and we put it on with my kids and I. We put it on the garage door front, and you know I just drove in and parked in front of it, and Cutie Kitty and I are staring each other in the face, and I'm thinking this thing is so cute. Like I have to do this. I have to launch this because more and more people need to have this feeling of coming home and just like
the
being
Cutie
welcomed
Kitty.
by Cutie Kitty, and it just kind of hits all the vibes. Like it hits
So
all
cute.
the fun. Yeah. So we're doing it for every holiday, Christmas and Halloween and Valentine's Day, Memorial Day. That's one of the side of the businesses.
Yeah, but I would say it sounded like yesterday when you were giving the presentation on it, the crowd sort of kind of seemed to like give a little hum when you turned gears to the B2B side.
Yeah. So everybody seems to be leaning into. Look, it's less sexy.
It is less sexy for the
less sexy.
consumer, but for the businesses,
But
they're
for
like,
the businesses,
ooh la la.
this is the next biggest thing, quite possibly. I think it's really going to move the needle in the commercial industry when we're talking about real estate. So, in addition to, you know, fun characters, we're also doing business-oriented, where you can actually sell your house and put a house for sale right on the garage as like a really big billboard, where you know, look at me, we're doing an open house this weekend. Right? So you put it up on a Tuesday, you have an open house on Saturday, people can drive by, and it's
And
somewhat
scan,
disruptive.
You had a big QR code on the
Yeah.
garage door, so we could just drive by the door and be like, there's the Zillow.
And
Okay, cool.
That's exactly it. We wanted people to be able to scan it from their vehicle.
Yeah.
Like I don't want you to get out and have to go pull a paper or a
Exactly.
scan or whatever.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
can just scan it from your, you know, drive by and zoom, get a quick scan, right? And that takes you to the listing, so you can find out more about the house itself, and you know, if there's a story with the house, or if there's specific features or amenities, you get to check it out on the spot. Maybe make reservations or an appointment to go see the house, the listing itself. But this is all tracked on the back end, where the realtor themselves can actually see the activity, count the scans, the hot spots, and maybe even remarket to those people who were interested. So, you know, using your garage as a billboard, you know, it's a big billboard for one, and for two, it's kind of disruptive. Like people aren't used to seeing this. This is a very new product that's hitting the market, and I've seen a lot of success coming from it and a lot of really good feedback.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So, okay, you've got your own business. You're here as part of the Core Team Partners, though.
That's right.
So tell us about your role in the
Sure.
Core Team.
So obviously there's the business that I'm working on
Yeah.
the side, but my day-to-day is I work for IceWeb.
Yes.
And a little bit about IceWeb, not yet a household name, but they are
It's so cool, though.
very cool because they have some technologies that are literally unheard of. I literally have conversations with people all over the world. I was talking to Germany yesterday or 2 days ago. Romania, we're bringing on a client from Romania, and we show them, anybody really, some of our unique proprietary tech that they've never seen before, but the reaction is like a no-brainer. They go, this is a no-brainer, I have to have this. I'm being somewhat cryptic because it is such a unique technology that it's, you know, it'll be highly sought after by anybody who's, because it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So the fact that we can, I'll kind of say this is like, we're good at SEO and now GEO, which is AI search, which happens to be the most trending. I mean, last year at this time, nobody asked to be in LLMs. Nobody was really, it wasn't on their radar to be in ChatGPT or to start appearing in there. And now every single discussion I have with business leaders, they're, how can we get inside LLMs? They may have a really strong, organic position, which is something they've strived to for the very longest time. Maybe they get into the #1 Goldilocks zone spot, right?
Down.
But we're finding out is the AI is actually detracting and taking them in a completely different direction.
Right, it's different.
So the AI, even the AI citation on Google will highlight maybe a company who's on page 2 instead of page 1 or in position 1 in the SERP. So it's completely detracting from all of their SEO efforts. So that's why we kind of invented the Google search bar feature, where we can put our clients in the GSB, the Google search bar. And that's huge. First of all, nobody can do that, that I'm aware of. And
How do you guys do it? I guess we
Man,
can't share how.
yeah,
huh?
man, I can't tell you how the sausage is made, right? But really what we do is we trend the brand. We make sure that it's trending, so that way Google recognizes it as like a trending and something people are talking about. It's current. That's one of the things Google does best, right? Is what's important to the community right now. So we make sure it is important, so that way it's flagged whenever. I don't know if flag's the right word, but like it's brought up to their as that #1 suggestion in the Google search bar.
Yeah,
So that way they're found first. It's kind of like the easy button. I like to call it the easy button.
for sure.
So the easy button will help them get to the very front of the line, even if you're on page 2. Because what's that joke? I love this joke. It's like, where's the best place to bury a dead body? And it's page 2 of Google. Because nobody goes to page 2 of Google. So that's, I love that joke. It's not a Nick original, but I've seen it out there. So that's why we want to put everybody to the front of the line. And what's fun about IceWeb is, we're actually a global company headquartered here in the United States, but we outrank some of the biggest, like Dick's Sporting Goods, Amazon. We outrank them on specific keywords every time in the organic channel. Yeah, it's pretty cool. One of my customers came up and said, hey, my dream keyword to be #1 in the Google SERP is yellow golf balls. And so if you type in yellow golf balls, our client will come up like #1 in the organic space, but above Callaway and above Dick's Sporting Goods. And it's a little golf ball shop that sells used golf balls. Lost Golf Balls is the name of the company. And they just sell used golf balls. And they wanted to be associated with yellow golf balls. Because maybe for bad players like myself, I use yellow golf balls to help me stand out. But yeah, we outrank everybody that's really big. And that was one of the things that they wanted to be really associated with. So we put them at the top of the bar. Yep.
So cool. Yeah, and IceWeb, is IceWeb considered a core team partner? Because
IceWeb is absolutely a core team partner.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
When core team partner kind of incubates a company, or if they're early stages of maturity, typically they need a good foundational SEO or technical SEO or just need brand awareness that they're launching. So that's when core team partners will bring on IceWeb to help kind of steer and drive that online presence, so that way they are found and seen. Because one of the things that we had talked about was, if you can be where people are looking for your products and services, call it online or Google, and when people are looking for those products and services and meet them at that moment, that's where any advertiser really wants to be. And that's what we do. We put our customers at that moment, that when and where.
Wow.
Yeah.
So cool.
We were talking about maybe traditional advertising like TV or radio, and that's very great for brand awareness or top of mind, but it's not in the moment. It's not the moment they're looking for, a roofing repair or, an attorney or a dentist, right?
Yeah.
They go immediately to online, and they may have think about that radio advertisement 2 days ago, but the reality is they're going to either look you up by that brand name or go directly to start their own research, and that's actually where we want to meet them in that moment.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I think we're getting started now. We're looking forward to hearing from Wando. Have you heard of Wando?
Yeah, not
He's
yet.
got the doula app. Right?
Oh,
Have
I'm
you
very
heard of that?
excited to
Yeah,
hear-
I know, me too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
definitely. We can get that going.
Yeah, we got to get that going. But I mean, I guess we're still live here right now, and I'm gonna keep it live until they
Keep it
start
going. Yeah, sure.
But anything else you would add to the crowd on any of this? Or like, they don't have to wait till the next summit, right? They could work with Core Team Now.
Core Team Now,
Or like, you know,
yeah.
anyone listening who's looking for funding, like, what would you tell all those people?
Yeah, look, I think Garage Snaps is a really great example because it's something I've been working on personally for the last couple of years, but I'm alone, to be honest with you. And I think that's one of the most scariest things for someone with a good idea. Maybe not even an entrepreneur just yet, but it's just an idea. And then when you've crossed it over to take it into production or to move it forward or advance that idea, that's when you kind of cross into the entrepreneur realm or a founder realm. So these are untested waters for a lot of us. It's our first rodeo. I'm from Texas, so we say it's our first rodeo doing something like this, and it's comforting to have help, guidance, guardrails, best practices. These are things that you get
Yeah.
from an ecosystem of partners that you're not alone, and you know.
Yeah, it can be lonely being
It
an
can be
entrepreneur.
super lonely being an
like,
entrepreneur.
oh my gosh, should I make this decision? I have no one to talk about it with.
You're
Okay.
the one making these decisions
Yeah.
and repercussions or rewards that come with them. So, you know, where do I invest, or how do I do the X, Y, and Z? And I'm a big believer of groupthink in ideation phase, and kind of groupthink and developing a product is extremely helpful because you can see a lot of different, you know, vantage points, views, culture fits. You get ideas that you've never thought of before, and then, you know, as a founder, you run with them or choose not to. But it definitely opens your eyes, and it's a good feeling not to be alone when you're making. It's good to bounce these ideas or decisions off of other like-minded professionals who are there to support you. They want you to win, right? They want you to do well, and then continue to work with them with your next project.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, and I think that's
Totally.
the benefit that they get out of it. Not just like we love helping scaling businesses, but you know, let's make this one successful and then move on to your next idea. Because obviously, as a founder, you have ideas. You see things in different ways than other people do, and you develop a product to accommodate.
Well, we got a comment, so I'm like, I'm gonna pull this up here and see.
Sure.
Like, what are people saying? Oh, we just got a hi. Oh, and someone asked if we're just gonna ban that user. Yeah, some good stuff. Thank you, live stream. Who's tuning in here? I see there are numbers. There's 3 of you on YouTube, 10 of you on LinkedIn. Got a couple of you on Instagram. If you're here, leave a comment. Let Nick and I know what's up.
Yeah.
Because we're just chatting. We're here in Seattle. We're going to be talking about, and you know what? Can I put you on camera, Shauna? No? Okay, so we have another person here at the table with us. Let's just keep things. Here, can we back this up and like get all 3 of us? Can you scooch in, Shauna, and then you scooch in too? We can move this chair now. Perfect. Here, you can see the view here, so if you're in it or not.
Oh, I love it.
So, Shauna, you want to introduce yourself?
Oh my god, I'm so bad at this. I'm not the best. I feel like my
So you're Shauna.
You're this is just a
I
conversation.
know.
You're just talking with us.
I know, but I'm like not the best
You don't
talker.
have to look at the camera. Just, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we just want to know, like, what's your role at Cherry Willow? What is Cherry Willow? What are you guys doing here?
Yeah, so I'm the director of impact. I work with partnerships, talk to a lot of nonprofit founders, and mission-aligned organizations. I come from the foster care world for about the last 15 years, and so in the foster care world, a lot of our teens, you know, they deal with seasons of homelessness and education needs and drug addiction or mental health, or, you know, all the things that even people that we're not in foster care have seasons of. And so at Cherry Willow, our mission is homelessness, but we are able to partner with all the different missions that we are all, you know, very passionate about, no matter what season you may fall into. And so we started with apparel because we are able to use that to drive community to help community, to create narrative change, to create storytelling, to generate revenue. And then of course we have like our for-profit, our tech, and our real estate to help bridge those gaps. I know we heard Matt say earlier there are literally 1.97 million nonprofits in the world, but we still have hunger. We still have foster children. I think it's like 300,000 or 500,000 foster children every single night that are living in a foster home in the U.S. And then if you ask your Alexa, how many homeless children do we have in the U.S., it will say 1 in every 30 child is homeless. 1 in every 30 children. So that means if you have a kid in the public school, there's a child in every single classroom that is homeless. And that might not mean living on the street in some little cube, but that means not living at home with mommy and daddy. And so that's very important to me, being a mom, having a child, and knowing that your kid might be sitting next to another homeless child. And then it's not just homelessness, it's like knowing that having a roof over your head might be something that someone is dealing with, but there's so much more to that. There's so much more need to not just having a roof over your head, and needing support, and needing mentorship, and needing guidance, and just having motivation from the next person next to you. Community is literally the subject to that. And like I said, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what you look like, what color you are, any of it. We all have seasons of need. And community is so important, and it's like, I love that. It's so funny to come from the nonprofit world, be in the nonprofit world, and now I'm like in apparel. But it's like, we all wear clothes anyways, so why not purchase socially conscious apparel that is going to not only be on your body, and you get to talk about what you're passionate about, and show what you're passionate about, and wear what you're passionate about, and let the world know as you're walking, like, I'm passionate about foster care, or I'm passionate about mental health or incarceration or whatever it is, but you're able to wear that apparel, but know that a piece of that money that went to that apparel that you're going to purchase anyways is going to whatever nonprofit that you're passionate about. So I know we heard Matt also say, like, a lot of people want to help, but it's like they don't know how. And that's just a perfect example. You're going to go buy apparel anyways, go buy apparel that is going to do something for somebody else.
And it's it's B2B apparel too, so if there's businesses listening, like you can get shirts for the trade show you're going to next.
Every business needs apparel.
Yes.
You're having events, you're having initiatives, your family, you're showing up to soccer games, you're showing up to whatever. Every business needs apparel. It has your mission on it. It has your logo on it. It has your brand on it. You literally are allowing, walking advertisement. So I think it's just very important, no matter what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Apparel is it. So it's really fun.
So Adam and Nick said one of their favorite pitches from this whole event was the blue dot.
I know, and I can't cheat because I've been sitting here and I can't be like, oh, blue dot too, because it's like everybody's saying the same thing. I think my favorite, and it's not just the name, it's like the look, it's like the brand, especially like Gen Z, millennials, the young ones, and then having a teenage daughter. Don't bother applying.
Don't bother applying. Shu Cho.
Yeah.
Where's he at?
I think the name alone, like, don't bother applying, it automatically gets you, because we all already are like,
Triggered by like applying for jobs.
Yeah, like we already know the
We've all lived
experience.
that life.
And it doesn't matter how old you are. I mean, a child might not really relate to it, but they know that is a very hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And I just like the model of it, the way he's approaching it, his revenue, how he's going to make revenue off of it. It's a freemium model, but I think that was my favorite one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
For them to be able to differentiate the way of an internal hire, because that is something that I think I hate to run up against, is something that I'm excited about. But I know they already, like the business already has planned to hire internally, but they have to post that job. So it's really just kind of just wasted effort to apply for it, because they already kind of know internally who they're going to want for that role.
Right.
So if we take that out and not visible to the general population, then I think that would just save a lot of friction and heartache, if you will.
Yeah.
Right.
I know they have to mandatorily put that listing out there for X amount of days to satisfy some metric, but I think taking that away would be less confusion for all of us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think we're getting ready with Wanda's.
Cool.
Can I grab your mic? I'm going to go
yours
clip it
right
on
here.
her. All right, guys, thanks for chatting with us.
Thank you.
we connect to the thing I'm gonna see here?
To this, I'm going to connect you on here. She's going to connect you to the live stream process. And this guy is Apple.
Yeah.
All right, so for this, you're just going to come up here, click this guy, your screen mirroring, pick that dude. Oops,
No.
Listen, thanks for spinning the camera.
And then the code is going to show up 2422.
Where did it show? Oh, up there. Okay.
And now, you, oh, it's going to tell you right here to start. There we go. And now you
Nice.
just need to put that full screen. There you go. Look at you. You're all official and everything.
I know, really official.
We'll be getting
That's
started
awesome.
here in just a second. We'll be hearing from Wando, her Amuga baby. New parents are exhausted, anxious, isolated, and at increased risk of depression. And we're going to be hearing about the solution for that.
Tell you what, I'll just do it.
Okay. I should get started?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for waiting this long. My name is Wando Anyoku, and I am a pediatrician, a physician executive, and forgive me, I'm not as polished as I will be, but I'm sharing with you an idea and a project that I've been working on for a few years. And I call it Amuga Baby. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the background of the name. So I'm a pediatrician, have been a physician for over 20 years, have seen multiple generations of families and babies. And a few years back, I started to meet parents who introduced me to the idea of a postpartum doula. Now, I grew up in Nigeria, so I was familiar with the idea of a doula, but a doula is a birth attendant. And I was talking to people who were talking about having doulas after the baby was born, and I thought, well, how does that work? And so they said, well, we have these doulas, they come to the house and they help us, make sure we're bathing the baby right, we're feeding properly, we're doing all the things that we need to do, they're helping us with breastfeeding. And I thought, oh, that's Omugo. Omugo is a concept from my traditional culture where when you have a baby, your mom or an older relative comes to stay with you for a while and does exactly that, helps you navigate those initial first challenging places. And so I would get these parents every week, and every Monday I could reliably trust I'd get tons of questions and pictures in my chat messages asking me why the baby's poop is yellow. It was green yesterday and now it's brown. What's happening? They were asking what to do about breastfeeding. Can we start to have intercourse again? All these questions every Monday morning. Same questions. And so trying to support them, and I started to meet my more well-heeled moms would be like, oh, I saved for a doula to support me after the baby because I need some help. I'm in the city, my mom lives, back where I grew up, I'm here alone, I don't have support. And so I'd say, well, these people don't need me, they're coming to see me in the office because they don't have support. What they need is a doula. What they need is another mom to ask the questions, to tell them their baby doesn't hate them, to tell them that, all these things you're experiencing are normal. And so I started to think about how to create a democratization solution to it, right? And so that's how the Omugo Baby concept was born. And these parents would end up in the emergency room at 2 o'clock in the morning, very expensive, for no reason. She's in pain, the baby gets infected, everybody goes home with a cold. This just doesn't work for anybody. And so I thought, well, who else can solve this problem? For a parent, they need critical support. How do they reach the questions that they have? And so I thought about 3 pillars of this solution. The first would be like a freemium concept, right? So you have lots of questions that everybody has. Like I said, every Monday the questions were very much the same. And it could be an AI-powered platform that could answer their questions and have a low threshold to escalate in the event that we thought that things were going south with the baby. And because common problems are common, most people would get their questions answered there. But if you arrive at a situation where you actually feel like you want to talk to somebody, you're having difficulty breastfeeding, you want somebody to actually show you what to do, then they could do a video conference call. And this is where they could get from a portfolio of doulas who are pre-hired, screened. You make sure that they know what they're talking about, they're effectively onboarded, so they're not giving the wrong information. And you could see as a parent on the app, on this solution, what are the characteristics of the doula. So if you wanted somebody who was younger, someone who was closer to your age, more related, whatever you wanted, these days you can see that when you try to hire a trainer. You can get one online with different characteristics. So they would pick a doula and they could have a call on demand, do a video call. Insurance doesn't pay for this, so this would be a cash-based solution. They would have a video call and they could either set up ongoing relationships with that particular doula or they could just use that as a one-time solution. So that was the second pillar that I had in mind. And the third pillar, which at this point I figure will probably be a phase 2 of this, is where it was geographically related. So if you had in this geography a curated network of doulas, you could actually dial up one to come to your house, like an Uber service for doulas where you are. So I thought, these are all different ways that a doula can help. They can help you with breastfeeding. They can help you with, they can screen for postpartum depression. They can flag when things seem to be going wrong. They can help you, figure out if you're eating healthy and what other kinds of support that your family could need. This could also be a solution for dads, because I got a lot of dads who would call me and be like, I don't know what to do. She's crying, and I've been trying everything, and nothing is working. What should I do? They don't need to talk to me. They need to talk to a doula. They need to talk to somebody who can tell him, this is how you can support your spouse. This double-sided marketplace is also a resource for doulas because they're out here trying to take their product to market. They're, most of them are moms themselves. They're also trying to manage young families. And this would be a great resource for them to be able to apply their craft virtually from anywhere in different time zones. And so, but I could get them screened and validated. They could be part of a network, and they'll have the support of a subject matter expert in this area. So, who would this service be useful to? Like I said, parents, clearly, doulas, definitely, but who else? Who has a challenge with people who have newborns that cannot focus at work? Employers. You're coming to work, you've had a night where you couldn't sleep, baby would refuse to close their eyes, and you're stressed out. And you've left your baby somewhere, with a daycare center, and you are just at work, but you're not actually at work. It's, employer language, they call it presenteeism. You're not technically absent, you're just there, but only in body. But having somebody who can help you, who can be a resource to help you to bring down that stress, to navigate that, will be a great benefit for you, but also for your employer, because now you can be at work and be fully present and be more engaged. So I talked to a lot of employer benefits specialists who thought this would be a great benefit to offer to their employees. They're like, hey, it's a great marketing tool for your organization because it shows that you care about the people that work for you. And this is a resource that they can get. And there's a lot of interest in that space. So that's a B2B model. And the other is insurance companies, because who's paying for those emergency room visits at 2 o'clock at night at very high prices? It's much cheaper for the insurance companies to pay for a doula service than for them to pay for the ED, for them to even come see me as a physician in my office. So I thought these are the marketplaces that we can certainly bring that. And it would have the last two would be B2B, and then the parents and the doulas, you could still have a B2C model, right? So you could offer it as a gift to your sister in Idaho who's having a baby and you live in Florida. You can't be there for her, but you can make sure that she has a package of somebody to support her during this challenging time with a fantastic gift. And that can go through channels of physicians and hospitals, all of which I'm very familiar with and have access to across the country. What does this market look like? It's a whole bunch of babies being born every day in the US. And I thought if we even limited it to the top 10 biggest cities, that's where the need is greatest, because people tend to move to those cities for work, and they've left their families wherever they grew up. And so you might be in Chicago, but your mom is in Memphis, and you've now had a baby and there's no one to support you. You don't have a church community, or you're starting to build that, and even if you did, you just had a baby, you're not in the mood to see anybody that you didn't know prior to that, right? So how do you think about this. So honestly, the market size, the TAM is pretty large. And then dads these days are amazing. They were not like that when I was having my kids, but these days dads are every bit as involved in the day-to-day caring of the baby as the mom is, right? So my brother, my younger brother and his wife, they have dueling apps, and I see all these in my practice all the time. They're like, how many times did the baby pee last night? And dad whips out an app, and mom whips out an app, and they both have numbers. So dads have as many questions. So if you think about the TAM, I'm thinking about the moms, but if you also think that this could be a resource for the parents as a group, there's a lot of possibility here. These numbers I'm not dwelling on because I wrote these a couple years ago. My guess is that they're significantly different now. I want to say that I first wrote this idea down in 2017. In the time since, there have been a number of companies that have shown up saying this, offering doula services. So if you Google doula services for newborns, there's a number of them. But what you'll find is that the majority of them are doing birth doulas. They're providing support during birth, and that's because insurance companies now pay for birth doulas in a number of states. Medicaid covers it. What they're not doing is postpartum space. That space is still gray, right? So some of them might give you a visit or two after the baby's born, but that next few months, which is generally when they come to me, and they're like, they gave me this baby to take home, what do I do, right? That space, it's still not solved for. So if you look out there, these are some of the ones that are still live. Maven is a juggernaut out there, and they do everything around reproductive health. But you get a doula until the baby's born, you get 2 visits, and then peace out. So these are the revenue models I talked about. So the freemium bit, which will be the first landing one, is how you build community. You can do ads, you can do sponsorships there. The telehealth platform is cash-based because insurance still doesn't cover it. But people would pay for this, for somebody to help them during this difficult time. But the beauty of it really, which for some reason is missing here, is that the B2B, where the licensing to insurance companies and to employers, okay, that's what I was looking for, and to third-party payers, that can actually give you a really big slice of revenue. And that's the area that I really want to double-click on, because I feel like that's how you keep this machine going. Ultimately, the people who need it the most can't necessarily afford it, but often they're employed. And a lot of employers are self-insured today, and so they can cover this as a white label solution for their teams. So, and what else? The doulas can also pay to be part of the platform. So those are my 2 pillars of the go-to-market, the B2B, like I talked about, and the B2C. I think I'm running out of my 10 minutes. Where else can this go? This can go in all kinds of directions, right? Because the birth, the 4th quadrant, the fourth trimester, you're talking about postpartum depression. You can expand this platform to serve mental health providers, lactation consultants, all these other people that support birth and the post-birth period. So I think there's a lot of possibility going forward here. That's me. I couldn't find a baby picture of me, so I put a baby picture of everybody else but me. And I had the question of, I needed somebody who had more technology. I'm a doctor. I've lived this for a couple decades. But building the platform, building the support is a space that I need help with. I have an advisory board of people that have worked with me over the years, really validating this. I've done over 300 hours of interviews with parents, looking at features that they'd be interested in to do that. So what do I need? Somebody who has experience and who knows technology and who can bring the pieces together to help me build this product and funds to build and move the project. So I will pause and see if anyone has questions for me.
I'll just say that having personally used a night doula for our 2nd kid, I don't know how we would have survived without her. As soon as we got home, it was just, with 2 working parents and a energetic older child, sleep is not something you get and you lose your mind after about a week. So I think this is a fantastic idea, and from personal experience, fully support it. It's great.
Thank you.
When when you first started talking, I was anticipating wrongly that you were talking about creating some sort of AI doula agent. I had recently was working with a person who's creating an app called Ask Grandma, and it's to gather wisdom from the Navajo Nation to support parents with young children who are going through speech therapy. So I just wondered, had you thought about an agentic element to support parents?
Yes, thank you for that. The first landing part of this, the freemium, is AI powered.
Okay.
Is agentic, because the question, they're going to need somebody who can ask and keep driving that way. So yes, absolutely. And then the next elevation is when you need a human, because apparently AI is going to take over everything. But I haven't figured out how to get an agent to teach people to breastfeed. So that's the place where you then do a call. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Quick question is around connecting both the, I guess, like the new parents and the doula. Is that like seeing who's online, or do you schedule something, or what is that process of connecting them both?
Yes.
work?
So thank you. I would put the doulas would be online. They'd sort of make themselves available as they are. And so as a parent, you're like, okay, I need to talk to somebody now, right? So you go on and see who's available, right? If you need an in-the-moment consult. If you've had that in-the-moment consult and you've built a relationship with that doula, you can then schedule time with them, right? So you can do a longitudinal relationship, or you can do like an as-needed call. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to ask the same question I asked him about qualification verification, if that's something that is necessary. I know that there's no like federal licensing for doulas, but I actually don't know anything about like state licensing or if those are requirements and that sort of thing.
It changes from state to state. There is a requirement that they get, I don't know, the word is not really certified. They get, they get training and they're documented. You can't just wake up and declare yourself a doula. You actually have to have some steps that you present to the state that approves it. Now, that changes from state to state, so I don't even know what is the one thing. But what I decided to do in doing that is that they would have their training, they would come with their training, but I would be very rigorous in my onboarding, because it's important to me that they're giving valid information. Because sometimes some of the things I see, people tell me their doula told them, freaks me out. So the onboarding, I think I'm owning that piece. So they come with the training that tells them this is what you do in going into people's houses. I get them screened because you're introducing a different variable into people's homes. So you've got to make sure that their background is safe. But the onboarding of making sure that I am giving accurate information, that's going to be owned by the platform.
I've actually got a follow-up on the telehealth side of things. I love this idea across the board. I think that it would be entirely possible for this to be something that would be covered by insurance. Do you have somebody on the advisory board who has experience with trying to deal with insurance companies about how you end up getting set up to do reimbursement for those sorts of things once approved, and that it's not such a nightmare?
So I've talked to Primera and a couple of the Blues across the country, and they've indicated interest. They really talked more about the white label approach, where it comes as an offering for their covered lives, as opposed to paying for it, because getting any of these things paid as a visit is really challenging. And only in the last 2 years, when I started this conversation, nobody was paying for any kind of doulas. In the last 2 years, with post the pandemic and people recognizing that you needed that better connection to improve pregnancy and birth outcomes, especially for underrepresented minorities, where Black women have 5 times worse birth outcomes than their Caucasian counterparts, insurance companies and states started approving payments for doula visits. But they pay for the birth doula. They don't tend to pay for the post-birth season. Some states pay maybe 2 visits in the year, but for the most part, they pay for the birth part. And so insurance companies trying to get them to cover that is a whole other bucket of fish. So in the conversation I've been having, they're talking about white labeling this and licensing it so that they offer it under their umbrella for their product. Okay.
All right, nice job.
Thank you for your time.
Do we have any other pitches? You want me to turn the live stream off?
I'm fit mode.
You're stealth mode. Okay. All right.
Is that cool? I'm sorry.
It's totally cool.